Hello, welcome to the Last Supper of Outcasts. And I'm your host, Mr. Magoo. Today is Thursday, June 26th, 2026. A lot of sixes in there. I just noticed that. That's probably why I'm having the day I'm having. That explains a lot, actually. There's three sixes in there. 666. Mark of the Beast. Happy days. Our quote of the day comes from Mr. George Carlin, and it goes as follows. Some people have no idea what they're doing, and a lot of them are really good at it. I was going to talk about, and by the way, if I look a little disheveled, it's because I am. The apartment complex I live in Tempe, Calcutta, currently has no running water. And it hasn't since I got home, which is around 5 hours ago. I was actually going to talk about part 2 in my series on education and my experiences with it, but I had to get this off my chest because uh, the blundering and the incompetence is it's just out of hand. It's out of hand. It's no longer a coincidence. Something is drastically wrong here. So, as I said, the apartment complex or the dumpster I live in here in good old Calcutta, Phoenix, has no running water. It hasn't for at least the last 5 hours. Who knows if we're ever going to have running water again? That is to be seen. Um, my first beef with this is there was no notification, there was no communication, no nothing. I had to call the front office emergency line because nobody's there, of course. And yeah, and I don't blame them. It's after 5 p.m. You know, as soon as 5 p.m. hits, they're off to the bar. And so I call the emergency line, and much to their credit, the emergency line, or at least somebody that's pretending to be from the emergency line, called back. And like I said, I think it was the office, and they let me know that there was a water main break, and a third party is working on it. The word is the definitive word here, because after 3 hours of no water, I decided to take a walk around the entire complex, which takes about 10 minutes, to see if anybody is actually working on the problem. And lo and behold, and no surprise at all, nobody is working on shit. No surprise. This incompetence, this blundering through life. I should write a book, Blundering Your Way Through Life for Dummies. It's no surprise, you know, and I'm a pretty lenient person, but the thing is, you know, I'm during my leisurely walk to see if somebody's actually doing anything, I run into 14 other people who are all asking me as if I'm some sort of an authority about if my water was working. And, you know, I understand their dilemma because I'm under the same dilemma. And I told them what I knew. And I told them that somebody is allegedly working on the problem. But you would think that an authority or somebody in the office would have enough presence of mind to put out an email letting know that they know there's an issue so they don't get bombarded with phone calls and that it's being addressed. Uh, and the guy, the whoever it was, I don't know, it could have been, you know, Jack and the Beanstalk I was talking to. told me that a third party was working on the issue, which they aren't. There's nobody out there, and that they'll let us know. They'll send out an email when the issue is resolved. Well, I don't need an email after the issue is resolved, because I'll know the issue is resolved when I can take a shit and flush the goddamn toilet. So just the lack of communication, and also just the lying about it. Just tell the truth, man. If somebody's not going to be out there till tomorrow, just tell the truth. And all these things, I'm bringing this up today because it's not a coincidence anymore. I can understand. We live in Calcutta, Phoenix. Water mains break because the heat causes them to break, and I understand that. I'm a pretty lenient person. I understand, but it's the lying and the bullshitting that causes the problem with me. And then also today, before I went to work, driving Uber because I can't find a job with competent people, or people I can even trust remotely to not eat my lunch if I leave it in the refrigerator. I'm at the car wash. I got into the vacuum station, surprisingly enough, with no issues. And Snoop Dogg wasn't there today, which was another surprising issue. But there was a truck there that nobody was there. No one was around the car, in the car, anywhere around it. It was a truck, and I proceeded to blow out my tires, and I blow the dust off the brakes so they don't squeak, and vacuum the car. And the gentleman came back and said that the car wash had actually blown a hole through his sunroof. And who knows if he is telling the truth? Maybe I have such little faith in people that I didn't doubt him instantly, because I'm trying to find the good in people, but you never know. And he had me. I looked at it and I saw it, and I'm like, man, I felt bad, and I told him that. And who knows? The car wash's fault because it's hot out. Who knows? But just another example of bullshit. And this also leads me to another wonderful encounter with incompetence. My doctor or my pharmacist, I can never tell which one is the problem here, but they're both continuously screwing up my blood pressure prescription, continuously. And I was happy that, because I had to argue with the doctor about even getting the prescription ordered, and I just left it at that. I'm not coming in for a visit, so you can get paid. And then today I got a notification from the pharmacy that my prescription was ordered. And I actually had this discussion with the doctor probably 2 or 3 days ago, and then today I got a call that my prescription is ready. And I'm like, that made me feel better, like somebody actually did something to alleviate me having to jump through hoops and become a circus monkey to get my prescriptions. And I'm on 3 different medications for my blood pressure, one of which I have to take twice daily, and the others I take once a day. And for some reason, the pharmacist or the doctor, I don't know which, like I said, and I may never know, they can't seem to wrap their heads around the fact that the prescription I take twice daily runs out twice as fast as the other 2 in order to keep pace, so I have enough of all of them. And what did they do? They ordered the two prescriptions that I already have enough of, and they left the one that I need, that I still have to come in and pay them, $150 for a visit. So guess what? I'm not taking the medicine anymore. At this stage, folks, if they want to kill me, let them, because they'll be putting out of my misery, and my misery derives from being around these morons, literally. And I'm not trying to. I'm pretty lenient. I really am. I'm pretty understanding, but this incompetence situation it's out of control. It's out of control as far as I'm concerned. It's a literal imbecile parade. I don't know any other way to describe it. And then and then another thing I dealt with, but this was a long time ago. It's just an added story of incompetence. I had I ruptured my aorta around 2 years ago. Uh, and the surgeon at least knew what he was doing, because I'm still here, so that's a good thing. But he got paid $800,000, so he should know what he's doing. Uh, but I also have an aneurysm uh, in one of the heart valves, and that was another surgery that they were wanting me to get, and I still haven't gotten it, because and I was going to get it, but at the time they were the hospital, which is in Scottsdale of all places, where everybody knows, everybody's a coke addict. So the fact that we're having these incompetence problems is really not a surprise to me. Uh, the people at the hospital were not able to schedule the surgery. At 1 minute it was you're coming in this day, and it's only going to be an in and out procedure. And then I get a call, an hour before I'm supposed to go in for the initially scheduled surgery. Oh, it's going to be 2 days now, and then you got to arrive at this time and that time, and it turned into just a cluster f. So I just canceled it. I'm tired of it. I'm not dealing with it. And at the same time, I was actually getting ready to go back to work. I was out of work for probably 2 or 3 weeks, almost maybe a month. And lo and behold, the health insurance administrator canceled my insurance for whatever reason on God's earth. So I ended up they're telling me I owe my job money for health insurance that wasn't being provided, because I got a bill from the hospital for my pre-operative visit for the second surgery. So, in other words, work wasn't paying the insurance in the first fucking place. But they wanted me to pay my job wanted me to pay back the time that I had missed to make up for the health insurance that they weren't paying in the first place. So I got billed for that. I mean, what in the hell is going on, man? Is this what people? Is this what the schools and the higher institutions are teaching people? Is how to blunder their way and fake their way through life, or just bullshit your way through life and everything will be fine? That's not how it works. It don't work that way. And eventually, people they're going to recognize that this is not the way to conduct business. It's unbelievable to me, and I'm calmed down now. But before, earlier, when coming home, I'm sweaty. I'm in 110-degree heat. I wanted to take a shower. You can't do that. You can't take a shit without having water. You got to flush the toilet. So luckily I saved water in case of an emergency. So I have some, but who knows when the water's going to go back on? And that's fine. I understand the water mains break. It's fucking hot out, but don't lie about it. And don't lie because you're a chicken shit and you don't want to get yelled at. It's unbelievable, man. It's disgusting. So, and then another thing I noticed around here is, I don't know if this exists in your town, wherever you're watching, but here in Phoenix, Calcutta, for whatever reasons, the morons that are getting paid $50 an hour to work on the roads don't even have the brains to set up the construction barriers correctly. You don't know what side of the road you're supposed to be on. You don't know if you can turn here. You don't know if you can even go down the road. You don't know if you can even are supposed to be driving down the fucking street or if you're on the right side of the road. I mean, that is the level of imbeciles that at least I'm perceiving. And I'm pretty sure I'm not alone. It's disgusting. It really is. I don't know what's going on, but it's not a coincidence. Something is going on. People are getting dumber. Like, I think by the second, and it's flabbergasting. Every day I go out into the world, I'm flabbergasted. And then I got to come home and nothing works here and they don't know how to fix it. Who knows when this is going to get fixed? Even if they say they're fixing it, does the plumber or whatever jackass is working on it, does he even know how to read? You know what I mean? Does he even know what a wrench is? I swear to God, it's something to behold. It's something else. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have. I was gonna do part 2 of my series on my experience with the education system, and all this stuff that I just mentioned and that you may be encountering too. It's a symptom of a disintegrating, in my belief, a disintegrating education system. It's people are given books, how to bullshit your way through life for dummies. That's basically the criteria, university college level material 101. How to bullshit and blunder your way through life. As long as you can lie your way out of a problem, everything's good and you'll still get paid, even though the person on the other end, they're stuck with a broken down car because the mechanics no longer can fix cars. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing anymore. Period. And so that's about it. I'm sorry for the rant, but I'm not sorry. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's experiencing this in America. But man, we are living in the land of the lost, the land of the dummy, the land of the liar. So that's it for tonight. I had to get that off my chest, and I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I had to get it off my chest, and I already feel better. Thank you for listening. If you had encounters like this or are currently going through encounters such as this, I'd love to hear your comments. Like I said, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please hit the notification bell, and I hope you got something out of the video, at least just knowing that if you're experiencing this type of shit, you are definitely not alone. So there you have it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great night, and I will talk to you soon.